Good day and welcome to the Fluximmersive channel. Today we'll be discussing how to integrate the Flux analyzer with the Avid Venue platform right behind me. Although someone may want to be using traditional hardware inputs to the actual analyzer, the most simple and powerful way to do this is using SampleGrabber, a Flux plugin officially qualified for the Avid Venue platform and available as AX DSP or as TDM for the legacy. The Flux Analyzer is a standalone application for Windows or Mac and uses iLok for license. It could be on an actual iLok key or an iLok license assigned to the computer itself. Now in today's configuration, we'll be looking at the audio samples from one or multiple instances of the SampleGrabber plugin residing on the console plugin rack. And those plugins are being actually fed from any buses from the console, and that includes the monitor bus, which is a great way to do some analysis and gives us multiple entry points. Simply no specific network configuration is required for this, and a self-discovery system called Zero Configuration Networking, ZeroConf, or for the ones that are aware, Bonjour technology, will take care of that for us. As long as the Flux Analyzer computer is residing on the same network as the console, you will be good to make a connection. This would typically be on the ECX port behind the console, but for that matter of fact, someone may want to be using the AVB-C or D port if it's not being used for recording. Now you could even choose to run this wirelessly on the ECX port with an access point to the cost of losing some responsiveness and actually potentially drop packets. After downloading the AX plugin folder from the Flux Center and installing the SampleGrabber like any other plugin on the console, you'll be able to insert instances wherever you want and feeding it whatever you need. Now, as you're downloading from the Flux Center, feel free to actually get the Bittersweet product, which is a free plugin, an actual very neat transient shaper, transient designer called Bittersweet, or for that matter of fact, to download any of those compliant, qualified Venue plugins, which you can actually request a trial from your Flux account. You can add mono or stereo instances of the SampleGrabber. Today's exercise, we're actually using stereo instances, and we have one of them that's actually on the monitor bus of the console, which is just a very rapid way to be sending either the mix to monitor, or any of the solo channel directly to the analyzer. Now, because we can put multiple instances, we have a second SampleGrabber instance that's actually parked on Matrix 1, the output of Matrix 1, which in this case would be used for actual media or for streaming. And that would give us a very rapid way to analyze our loudness, for example. Now, in a second video part, we'll be talking about how to route your calibration microphone to the analyzer via that same SampleGrabber. Now, let's instantiate a SampleGrabber. I'm choosing a stereo instance here because I want to pick up the stereo bus of the console. And as you can see, as soon as I instantiate that plugin in the rack, in the plugin rack, the analyzer discovers that entity. Now let's actually patch the plugin from the main bus, and we are done. The audio is flowing to the SampleGrabber, and it's ready to be picked up on the other side. Now, if you want to be naming your actual SampleGrabber, which would make sense when you have multiple one, you could be naming this one to main bus, for example, and that will give it a name on the network when you discover it. Make sure that you keep the password as 0, because if you're actually putting a password on that actual password field, your connection will be protected and will require the Flux Analyzer to be configured to make the connection. Now, as far as the network interface goes, the little option there, simply leaving it at all will actually make sure that the SampleGrabber is discoverable on any of the network port, but you could specify a specific port for that discovery. Now let's turn to the analyzer. With this system, we can rapidly select the desired source. As we are pulling down the source button, we are seeing all the instances available, in this case from the Venue Console, the SampleGrabber instances, but we can actually see it from any other SampleGrabbers or hosts on the system that can actually send. A digital audio workstation would be an example, and even the Spat Revolution immersive audio software has the capability of sending to the analyzer. Now, the analyzer is available in two forms. A basic studio session analyzer, very limited layouts, 2-channel, very simple, gets the job done. And then the flagship, the actual Flux Essential Analyzer, which has 3 add-on options, the metering option, the multi-channel option, and the live option. Now, depending which of the options you have, you will be seeing less or more of those layouts. For today's example, we'll be talking about the metering add-on and the metering options. We can, for example, with this, get the mastering layouts, and those mastering layouts would be a great place to look at our RMS, our true peak, and actually a loudness analysis, give us a loudness integrated. And now a key part of this is that we can configure those meters to be fitting some loudness conformance on the various streaming and distribution platforms. So just choosing an actual loudness conformance of a platform, and here you are with the information right in front of you. Now that will be it for today. In another session, we'll talk about the live add-on option and how we can route the calibration microphone to the analyzer via the SampleGrabber, and using those live layouts, being able to look at transfer functions, impulse responses, and for that matter of fact, even some actual show view for SPL measurements for live performances, which is a great way to integrate the SampleGrabber. Now, I hope you've appreciated the content of today. Make sure that you actually subscribe to follow this channel as we release content. And in the meantime, have a great day and thanks for watching.